Strange cases, eerie legends. Welcome to Shadowy Stories. I'm your host, here every night to tell you a tale.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're getting together again to talk about something weird that happened to a kid. Like, they lost, well, something. So after hearing this one, maybe you'll think twice before taking your kids to some of those strange indoor playgrounds or adventure places. Just kidding. You probably won't run into this kind of thing, so don't sweat it too much. This story takes place in the summer of 2008 on the east coast of the United States in a tourist town called Willow Creek. Our main character tonight, Sarah, was on vacation there with her little daughter Lily. They had planned this trip to see Willow Creek's famous bay views and historic old streets. But when they got there, they found the old streets were pretty, but there were tons of shops selling all sorts of weird stuff. Sarah was a pretty experienced traveler. She knew the deal with tourist traps. She noticed that a lot of the stuff being sold in this town was clearly just to rip people off. Most of the products or souvenirs had nothing to do with Willow Creek's actual history or culture. Sarah was feeling like this place was completely overrun by commercialism. Following the tour group, by the second day, Sarah noticed the tour guide was pushing products like crazy, telling all sorts of wild stories to get people to buy stuff. Sarah knew it was a scam, but her daughter Lily was young and listened intently to the guide. Whatever the guide said was good, Lily would beg her mom to buy it. All day, Sarah kept refusing her daughter, trying to explain things to her. It wasn't until that night that the tour guide took them to a place in town called, how do you describe it? The Wonder Maze. This place wasn't like a haunted house or anything. Those big, immersive haunted attractions weren't really that popular back then. The Wonder Maze was basically for kids, with padded rooms, strange climbing structures, and some interactive stuff involving lights and sounds, supposed to spark imagination or something. Sarah thought, what does visiting a historic old town have to do with a place like this? But that tour guide was seriously convincing, hyping up the place to all the parents and kids who were traveling with children. All the kids there started whining to their parents, "We want to go to the Wonder Maze!" The Wonder Maze wasn't the kind of place you go in and come out of quickly. Lily spent a good 2 hours inside. Sarah and the other parents just hung around the area outside, seeing other sights or taking a break. A lot of parents felt it was good that the kids were being looked after, gave them a chance to relax, and they were pretty chill about it. It wasn't until 2.5 hours later that Lily came out of the Wonder Maze. Sarah noticed that Lily, who should have been super happy and buzzing from playing, came out with her head down, looking really glum, walking slowly and kind of vacant-eyed. Sarah rushed forward to talk to Lily. "Sweetie, was it fun inside? Why aren't you happy?" Her daughter just kept her head down, seeming to be deep in thought, like she was trying to figure something out. After a while, she suddenly looked up, her eyes wide, and let out this weird, empty laugh at Sarah. It totally freaked her out. "Lily, what's wrong?" She instinctively stepped back a couple of paces. Then her daughter Lily suddenly ran towards a trash can nearby and kicked it over with all her might. The trash can wasn't huge, but a little girl putting enough force to kick it over was quite something. After kicking it over, Lily just stood by the trash can, continuing that unsettling, loud laughter. Sarah saw the trash scattered everywhere and hurried to clean it up, getting annoyed with her daughter as she did. "Lily, what is with you? If you keep acting like this, Mommy's gonna be mad." When Sarah yelled out like that, Lily seemed startled and instantly went back to how she was when she first came out of the Wonder Maze, head down, standing there frozen and blank. At this point, Sarah knew something was seriously wrong. What happened to my daughter? Was she scared in that Wonder Maze? Just as Sarah was deep in worried thought, Lily started walking forward as if she wasn't in control. The direction Lily was heading was towards the edge of the nearby bay. Sarah lunged forward and grabbed Lily, pulling her into a hug. But in her arms, Lily's eyes seemed fixed, staring straight out at the water, completely unresponsive and uncontrolled. At the same time, her body started to tremble slightly, and she was mumbling things constantly. It wasn't normal child talk. It sounded like some unintelligible babbling that Sarah couldn't understand at all. That's when Sarah knew things were bad. Something had clearly happened to her daughter. She immediately found the staff at the Wonder Maze. Their answer was, "All the other kids who came in were fine, ma'am. Your daughter is probably just sick. It has nothing to do with our place." And it was true. There were a dozen other kids who went in with Lily, and they all came out perfectly normal. Only her own daughter had changed like this. Far from home, feeling utterly helpless, Sarah was overwhelmed. In a strange city, she didn't know anyone, and her daughter was getting worse. By the afternoon, Lily seemed completely out of it, not recognizing Sarah at all, just keeping her head down and giggling that weird, unsettling laughter. Sarah thought about rushing home immediately, even leaving that night, but she felt her daughter's condition was too serious, that it might be too late. So that night, with the help of the tour group, she took her daughter to a big hospital in the city. The doctors in the children's psychiatry department did detailed exams on Lily, and doctors from other departments also ran comprehensive tests. All of Lily's physical organs were fine. There was nothing wrong with her body. But something seemed severely wrong with the parts of her brain that controlled reaction and transmission. To put it in ordinary people's terms, when they shined a flashlight in Lily's eyes, her pupils didn't react. Doctors tried tapping her knees and other joints with a small rubber mallet, but Lily had no reflexes. It was like she had lost all control over her body. The psychiatry doctors examined all of Lily's sensory systems and found that her sense of smell, taste, and hearing seemed completely non-responsive.
Sarah was heartbroken. She felt like she had ruined her daughter, that this had happened because she brought her on this trip. How would she explain this to her husband and family back home? She loved Lily, but her husband adored her even more. Now she felt she had caused terrible trouble. As a mother, she had to face the family's potential blame, and, more importantly, it was her own daughter, and she was suffering terribly inside. What could she possibly do? Sarah and Lily were in the hospital overnight. The next evening, Sarah went to the hospital cafeteria alone to get some food for Lily. She brought it back and tried to feed Lily, but Lily just kept spitting it out. Sarah was crying as she fed her, and it took over an hour to get just a little bit of food into her. Watching Sarah struggle was an older doctor. Sarah didn't know him or what department he was from. Maybe the old doctor saw how pitiful Sarah looked. He called her aside and said he wanted to talk to her. The old doctor said to Sarah, "Lady, please don't cry anymore. Don't worry so much. Your child is in this state and we have to find a way to make her better. Do you believe in, well, some older, non-traditional methods? I have some experience in that area." Sarah wiped her tears and replied, "Doctor, I'll try anything if it can save my daughter. What can we do? How did she end up like this?" The doctor first urged Sarah to calm down. "Don't get worked up. Take a deep breath. Let me explain slowly." This old doctor had a completely different view from the other doctors. He said, "I don't think your daughter's condition is something Western medicine can easily fix. To me, it doesn't seem like a standard psychiatric illness." He paused, seeming to choose his words carefully. "Let me see how to tell you this. In some of our old folk beliefs, sometimes a person can lose a part of themselves, like a piece of their consciousness or their vital spark gets pulled away by something. Have you ever heard anything like that?" Sarah only half understood, but nodded. "Doctor, I think I've heard something. Do you mean my daughter lost something?" Yes, he said, but it's not as simple as you might think. In my experience, with her symptoms, her case isn't the worst. She seems to have only lost a more basic fragment, the part that affects bodily sensation and control. Doctor, do you have any way to get it back? I really don't understand what you're talking about. The old doctor said, "It's complicated to explain, but the method might be simple. Based on your daughter's current symptoms, it looks like she lost the fragment that connects her to her body. After losing this fragment, a child becomes like she is now, with dulled senses, even losing control over their own body. If the loss is severe, they can even lose the ability to speak, which is your daughter's situation now." Sarah listened to the old doctor's explanation. It was so different from what the other doctors had said. She said, "Doctor, I really don't understand the specifics of what you're saying. Just tell me, is there any way to save my daughter? I'll do anything, whatever it takes." The old doctor replied, "You don't need to worry too much. Do exactly as I say. I can't guarantee 100% that it will work, but you can try this method. We haven't used this approach much in years, especially in a big hospital like this." "Okay, doctor, tell me. I promise I won't tell anyone. I'll keep it secret. I'll do whatever you say." "It's not that extreme," the old doctor said. "I've looked into your daughter's situation a bit these past few days, and it seems she became this way after going into that wonder maze. So tomorrow, afternoon, listen to me, I'll give you something. Take this, and before you go into the wonder maze, rub it on your eyes. After you rub it on, you can just walk straight into the adventure house. I don't think the owner will stop you. After all, something happened to your daughter there. Once inside, start looking around. See if you can find a trace or a figure of your daughter." "Trace? What do you mean, find a trace of my daughter? Isn't my daughter right here in the hospital?" "No," the old doctor quickly explained. "My apologies, I didn't explain clearly. Tomorrow, just do as I tell you. Rub on the stuff I give you and go into the wonder maze. If everything goes as expected, you will see another version of your daughter. Don't be afraid. It's a phenomenon. When you see her, don't startle her. Call her name gently. Try to guide her and get her to follow you. Bring her back to the hospital, and your daughter can be saved." Sarah heard the old doctor's words and thought it sounded exactly like those old stories her grandparents used to tell about calling back a spirit or something similar. "Yes, it's similar to the concept of calling it back. It's just that my method might be a bit unique." "Okay, doctor, thank you. I'll definitely go tomorrow afternoon." After talking to the doctor, Sarah felt really uneasy, not sure if this method the doctor described was even possible. It sounded so incredibly strange, it was hard for Sarah to accept. But honestly, Lily hadn't shown any improvement with the hospital's treatment, and Sarah was out of options. She was desperate enough to try anything. What the doctor said was bizarre, but she decided to take a chance. So, the next afternoon, she took the small plastic box the doctor gave her, which seemed to contain some liquid or ointment, and headed to the Wonder Maze.
As expected, the Wonder Maze owner didn't dare stop Sarah because they knew something had happened there. That day, the owner first cleared out all the customers inside and then let Sarah enter alone. Then Sarah followed the doctor's instructions, opened the container of ointment, and rubbed it around her eyes. The ointment didn't sting or feel anything on her skin, but it felt incredibly cool.
Sarah had a slight nearsightedness, but didn't wear glasses all the time. But after putting on that ointment, Sarah said she could see everything with an unbelievable clarity she couldn't even describe. But she couldn't worry about that now. She immediately went inside the Wonder Maze. Searching around the Wonder Maze, Sarah spotted a girl squatting in a corner on the second level. From a distance, Sarah could clearly see. Wasn't that her daughter, Lily? Sarah immediately rushed forward, wanting to yell out and hug her, but then she remembered what the doctor told her. Sarah controlled her emotions, walked closer slowly, and began trying to talk to this other Lily. But as she spoke, Sarah realized this Lily was just like the one in the hospital. She seemed not to understand what Sarah was saying, or didn't react. However, whenever Sarah gently called Lily's name, this other Lily would move and follow Sarah. Sarah's heart swelled with hope. She thought, did I actually meet a miracle worker? It looks like Lily can be saved. So Sarah kept calling Lily's name softly, and this other Lily followed Sarah all the way back to the hospital. Just as they entered the hallway on the third floor where Lily's room was, no more than 10 steps in, Sarah glanced back at the daughter figure who was just behind her, and she was gone. Sarah's heart sank. Oh no, I finally got her all the way here. Just as Sarah was overwhelmed with mixed emotions and confusion, she heard her daughter's voice. It was coming from Lily's hospital room, less than 15 feet away. It was Lily crying. Sarah's heart seized up. Oh no, something must be wrong. She rushed to Lily's room. Pushing the door open, she saw Lily sitting up in bed, her 2 adorable little eyes wide open and blinking, looking at Sarah. She said, "Mommy, I'm starving, and where are we? I want something yummy to eat." All right, folks, that's the end of our story for tonight. Tomorrow's story will be even more exciting. But this one was just too strange. Don't take it too seriously. Just treat it as a story. Okay, friends, I'll see you all again tomorrow night.